Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today we have an exciting update for everybody. We are going to be talking about how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have activated running back Leonard Fournette off the injured reserve. He will be playing in the Buccaneers divisional round matchup versus the LA Rams. And I am not alone in talking about this update today. Joining me yet again from the Cannon Fire podcast, it is Evan. Evan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on. And some more positive injury news, which, haven't had much of it lately with the Bucs, but some positive injury updates here.
Yeah, so I mean, this, exactly what you said, right? This is probably the most positive injury news we've had in a good, while now. I know that, hey, Shaq Barrett was ready to go, JPP was ready to go, Levante David was ready to go. That was all fantastic news, right? But then we hit another streak of bad news, Evan. Tristan Wirfs may or may not play. Ryan Jensen probably going to play, but he is still very much hurt, and just the list goes on, right, with guys who have been dealing with injuries. Thankfully, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have gotten one of their most important pieces on the offensive side of the football back here. Evan, what do you have for us here in terms of this update?
Yeah, so the deadline to activate any player off IR in order for them to be eligible to play in the game the next day was 4 p.m. So I believe it was around 3:55 or so today. A lot of sources came out and said that Leonard Fournette was being activated off of the IR. Now, that meant that, the Bucs needed to open up a roster spot, which we'll get into, obviously, in another time. But Leonard Fournette, that means he's on the active roster now. So when you put somebody on IR, they're technically not on the roster. They need to be activated, and then they're good to go. That indicates that he's ready to go. That indicates that they believe he's going to play. Last week, the Bucs activated Levante David off IR. He played. So that indicates that they believe Fournette will be ready to go. I don't know how much he's going to play. I would expect him to get a good bit of carries because I don't think they would put him in there. And Bruce Arians already said, as far as we thought he was going to come back last week. And Bruce Arians had already said, look, he had a setback. He was 100%. We're not going to do it unless he's 100%. So sounds like he's pretty close to 100% here, or else I don't think they would have done this. But, it's definitely a big boost for a Bucs offense who, with the 49ers beating the Packers, have a huge opportunity right now as the winner of this game will host the NFC Championship game and not have to go to Lambeau Field. So they're going to need a big day from their offense to win this football game, and having Fournette back should help that.
Yeah, just real quick to touch on that, we already were talking about how, this game was going to have an insane amount of pressure, an insane amount of high stakes, right? Now, that got even more bumped up with the, chance to play at home in the NFC Championship game now that the Green Bay Packers have been eliminated, which, like you said, makes the addition here of Leonard Fournette back to the active roster, getting some snaps here in the Bucs divisional round game tomorrow, that much more important, man. Evan, we've talked about this for weeks and months throughout the entirety of the season, right? How important Leonard Fournette has been to this Buccaneers offense, not just as a running back, but also especially as a receiving target as well. I believe he was third or fourth on the team in passing targets this year. So, like you said, it's huge for the Bucs here to get that, insanely important piece back on their offense here. Like you said, he's probably going to be on some type of limitation, but not a lot, because as you said, Bruce Arians, he came out and said, like, hey, if the guy can play, he's going to be getting carries. He's going to be getting opportunities. Just because they have faith in him, they have trust in him that he will be ready to go. The Bucs wouldn't have made this move if he wasn't ready to go, right? So like you said, I think the Bucs are confident that he will be able to go out there. He will be able to shoulder a pretty significant load, a pretty significant bulk of the carries and targets out of that backfield. And huge, right? Huge. What kind of impact do you think this is going to have here against the Rams in the divisional round?
I think it could, in this particular matchup, I think it could have maybe more of an impact in the passing game than anything. Now, I will say, we brought it up on our game preview show on the Campfire podcast. The Bucs, last time they played the Rams, Tom Brady was their leading rusher. So I think the goal might need to be having Leonard Fournette as your leading rusher. I think that's a good start for success there. But the Rams are a solid run defense team. I wouldn't expect Fournette to go over 100 yards or anything, especially if he's playing in a limited role. But I think he can provide just what he provided in the regular season. Giovani Bernard had a really good game against the Rams catching the football. I don't see a reason why Leonard Fournette can't have that either. Now, I mean, in the past, he's been inconsistent with his hands, but Fournette this season has been like fantastic. It's been out of character for him, but he's been so good that you kind of expect it at this point. So I think Tom Brady's going to be looking for guys like Fournette and Bernard a lot out of the backfield in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's an exciting thing at the end of the day, and a big boost to the Bucs offense, and we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But, folks, let us know your thoughts about Leonard Fournette coming back off of the injured reserve, now to the active roster, and he will be playing in the divisional round here versus the LA Rams. So give us your thoughts and opinions on this situation and the return of Leonard Fournette. Evan, I want to thank you again for being on. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. For everybody watching, go check out the Cannon Fire podcast on YouTube. I will have their link in a pinned comment down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.